Patrick Swayze carried the world on his shoulders with a smile that could light up a room, but through every red carpet, every standing ovation, there was one person who truly held his heart: Lisa Niemi. She was not just his wife, she was his partner in every sense, the love he spoke of quietly, the anchor in a life lived in the spotlight. From the moment they met in 1979 at a dance workshop in New York, a bond was formed that would last decades, enduring fame, the pressures of Hollywood, and the cruelest trials of illness. Before he died on September 14, 2009, Patrick made it clear that his greatest joy, his deepest love, and his truest companion was Lisa. She was the constant in a life that seemed anything but ordinary, the quiet force behind the star who captivated millions. And yet, behind the dazzling roles and the charm of the man the world adored, it was this love, intimate and unwavering, that defined him more than any award or accolade ever could. Patrick Swayze was born August 18, 1952 in Houston, Texas, into a household where movement, discipline, and creativity were part of everyday life. His mother, Patsy Swayze, was a dedicated dance teacher and choreographer, whose passion for the performing arts would seep into every corner of Patrick's upbringing. She encouraged him to explore rhythm and motion, to discover how the body could tell stories words never could. His father, Jesse Wayne Swayze, was a businessman with a strong presence and a love for martial arts, a combination of structure and physicality that would shape Patrick's approach to both life and performance. Growing up with 4 siblings, he learned early the nuances of connection, collaboration, and resilience, lessons that would carry him through both the triumphs and the trials that lay ahead. From a young age, Patrick's life was steeped in performance. Hours spent in the dance studio with his mother instilled discipline, but also a profound sense of expression. It was in these quiet, sunlit rooms where the foundation of his artistry took hold, where he first understood that movement could be a language, a conduit for emotion. While friends played outside, Patrick honed his body, balancing the rigorous training of dance with a curiosity for the world beyond Houston. Schooling at the Hockaday School offered him structure and academic grounding, while brief studies at San Jacinto College allowed him to explore ideas and interests outside of dance. Even then, it was clear that his path would be anything but ordinary, guided by both an inherited love of art and an innate hunger for storytelling. By the late 1960s, Patrick had begun to take his passion for performing seriously. He moved to New York City to train at the neighborhood playhouse, immersing himself in acting under the tutelage of experienced instructors. The city, with its bustling streets and unrelenting energy, became both a challenge and a proving ground. Every role he studied, every routine he perfected, was a step toward mastering the delicate balance between grace and grit, between vulnerability and strength. Even then, he carried with him the lessons from his family: discipline, dedication, and an understanding that artistry was never separate from life itself. Family remained a constant anchor. His mother's influence was evident in his poise, his respect for collaborators, and his unspoken reverence for movement and rhythm. His father's presence lent him an inner steadiness, a way to navigate pressures with quiet confidence. And among his siblings, Patrick found camaraderie and gentle competition, learning to push himself while never losing sight of connection. These early years were not marked by fame, but by preparation, a weaving together of the personal and the artistic, the physical and the emotional. It was a life built on foundations that were at once demanding and nurturing, forming a character capable of enduring the extraordinary journey that lay ahead. Patrick Swayze's early life was more than the prelude to fame. It was the forging of a man who would carry artistry, compassion, and discipline into every role he embraced. Every leap, every performance, every subtle gesture was rooted in a childhood where love and rigor coexisted, shaping the actor and dancer the world would come to know. And while those early days were full of lessons in movement, patience, and resilience, they also quietly set the stage for a love that would define him in the years to come. A love that would be his anchor through the brightest lights and the deepest shadows. By the late 1970s, Patrick Swayze was stepping onto screens, his presence quietly demanding attention even in smaller roles. His film debut came in 1979 with Skatetown, USA, a modest project that introduced audiences to a performer whose physicality and charisma were impossible to ignore. The dance training instilled by his mother and the discipline taught by his father had matured into something tangible on screen. A man whose movements were precise yet infused with a natural grace, a man who could convey emotion not just through words but through posture, gaze, and the smallest gestures. It was in 1987 that Patrick's career would take a defining turn. Dirty Dancing became more than a film. It became a cultural phenomenon, a touchstone of romance and youthful longing. His portrayal of Johnny Castle was magnetic, a seamless blend of strength and vulnerability, of toughness and tenderness. Patrick's performance spoke to audiences not merely because he could dance or act, but because he brought a humanity to the role, a depth of feeling that mirrored the quiet intensity of his own life. The movie's success was immediate, earning him a Golden Globe nomination and cementing his status as a star who could move hearts as effortlessly as he moved across a dance floor. Following Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze's career continued to soar. In 1990, he appeared in Ghost, a role that showcased his versatility and emotional range. Paired with Demi Moore, he navigated themes of love, loss, and the unbreakable bonds that persist even beyond life. Audiences were drawn not only to the romance but to Patrick's ability to embody both the strength and fragility of the human experience. Around the same time, he took on more physically demanding roles, including Point Break in 1991 and Roadhouse in the late 80s. These films highlighted his dedication to craft, his willingness to immerse himself fully in every character, and his commitment to authenticity, whether performing complex stunts or exploring the emotional landscapes of his roles. Even as fame grew, Patrick remained grounded. Colleagues often spoke of his kindness, professionalism, and generosity behind the scenes. He carried with him the lessons of his family, the balance between discipline and warmth, and a quiet integrity that distinguished him in an industry prone to excess. While cameras captured his every move, it was in private moments, away from sets, away from spotlights, that Patrick cultivated the aspects of life most precious to him: friendship, artistic growth, and love. During these years, he also continued to explore his talents beyond acting. Music, dance, and even writing became outlets for his expression, reflecting a restless creativity that refused to be confined to one form. His work was a testament to the rigor of his early training, but also to the emotional honesty he carried into every endeavor. Fame for Patrick was never an end in itself. It was a vehicle for connection, a way to touch audiences, and leave a lasting imprint on the cultural consciousness. Through the peak of his career, Patrick Swayze was not simply a star, he was a storyteller whose medium was both body and soul. Every role, every performance carried the echoes of Houston studios, of a mother's dance lessons, of a father's insistence on strength and resilience. The rise to fame was marked not by accident, but by years of preparation, by an artistry honed in private rooms and rehearsal spaces, and by a humanity that reached through the screen. It was this humanity that would eventually make his declaration of love for Lisa Niemi, his partner and confidant, feel so authentic, an enduring reminder that behind the celebrity, behind the accolades, Patrick Swayze's heart was never far from the people and values he cherished most. Patrick Swayze's personal life was as deeply felt as his performances, though it remained far from the public glare that followed his career. In 1979, during a dance workshop in New York City, he met Lisa Niemi, a dancer and aspiring actress whose quiet strength and grace would soon become the center of his world. Their connection was immediate, a meeting of minds and hearts forged through a shared language of movement and expression. Over the following years, their bond deepened, rooted in mutual respect, creativity, and a profound understanding of one another that went beyond words. Patrick and Lisa married in 1987, forming a partnership that would endure for decades, Through both triumph and hardship, Lisa was not merely a wife. She was a collaborator, confidant, and the anchor in Patrick's life. Together they navigated the pressures of Hollywood, the scrutiny of fame, and the personal challenges that accompany a life in the spotlight. They shared more than just a home. They shared a life shaped by dance, travel, artistic endeavors, and a devotion to one another that was evident in every public appearance and private moment. Their shared passions extended beyond their professional lives. Horseback riding, dance, and quiet afternoons together became rituals that strengthened their connection, moments that offered respite from demanding schedules and public attention. Lisa's presence provided stability, a consistent source of love and encouragement that allowed Patrick to pursue his career fully, while remaining grounded in what truly mattered to him. Though they did not have children, the depth of their bond was unmistakable, a testament to the power of companionship built on trust, understanding, and shared purpose. Even as Patrick's fame soared, Lisa remained a constant, a quiet witness to the highs and lows of a career that included iconic films such as Dirty Dancing, Ghost, and Point Break. She was present through the accolades, the grueling schedules, and the moments of self-doubt that often accompany creative work. Patrick frequently credited her with keeping him balanced, reminding him of who he was beyond the characters he portrayed, and offering perspective and solace when the demands of the industry threatened to overwhelm. Their marriage was not defined by extravagance or spectacle, but by a steady, enduring commitment that both grounded and inspired him. The resilience of their relationship was further tested in 1998, when Patrick was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The diagnosis was devastating, yet through it all, Lisa's unwavering support and presence remained central to his life. She accompanied him through treatments, provided care in private moments away from public scrutiny, and became a source of comfort in a time of unimaginable uncertainty. Even in the face of illness, their connection endured, a quiet yet profound affirmation of the love they had nurtured for nearly 2 decades. Patrick Swayze often spoke of Lisa not as a figure in the background of his life, but as the love of his life, the person who made the challenges of fame and illness bearable. Their partnership reflected a humanly intimate reality rarely captured in headlines, a love defined not by grand gestures, but by loyalty, shared values, and the ability to face life's uncertainties together. In every dance they performed, in every shared laugh and quiet moment, their bond was palpable, a testament to the enduring power of love forged in both art and life. Patrick and Lisa's story reminds us that behind the iconic roles, the celebrity status, and the applause, the most significant moments in life often belong to private spaces, shared glances, whispered words, and a love that persists through the most extraordinary and the most ordinary days alike. It is in this devotion, quietly witnessed over decades, that Patrick Swayze's humanity, vulnerability, and capacity for love remain most visible, leaving a legacy that extends far beyond the screen. In 1998, Patrick Swayze received the diagnosis that would profoundly alter the final chapter of his life: pancreatic cancer. The news was devastating, yet Patrick faced it with the quiet strength and determination that had defined both his career and his personal life. From the outset, he chose to keep the details private, sharing the battle only with those closest to him. Throughout the months that followed, Lisa Niemi remained at his side, offering care, comfort, and unwavering support. In the intimacy of their home, they confronted the illness together, maintaining a sense of normalcy and love even as the world watched from afar. Despite the severity of his condition, Patrick continued to work, a testament to both his dedication and his resilience. He appeared in television projects, including a memorable performance in Donnie Darko in 1999, and remained active in stage performances when his health allowed. Each role was approached with the same commitment that had defined his earlier work, reflecting an artist unwilling to let illness define the limits of his talent. In every movement, every line delivered, he carried both his personal courage and the lessons of a life built on discipline, artistry, and love. Patrick's approach to his illness was marked by quiet dignity. He did not allow it to overshadow his life or the moments he cherished with Lisa. Together they continued their shared interests, from horseback riding to quiet walks, preserving the routines and rituals that had always strengthened their bond. In these small, intimate moments, far from the cameras and the accolades, Patrick's humanity was most visible. His vulnerability, his humor, and his deep capacity for love illuminated even the darkest days. Throughout his illness, Patrick also became an advocate in subtle ways. By continuing to work and live fully, he demonstrated resilience in the face of pancreatic cancer, an illness known for its severity and rapid progression. His private battle and public presence brought awareness to the disease without fanfare, leaving an impact on those who followed his story and admired his courage. Even as he weakened, his focus remained on life, on creativity, and on the people he loved most. On September 14, 2009, Patrick Swayze passed away, surrounded by the love and presence of Lisa Niemi. The world mourned a performer whose talent had touched millions, yet those closest to him remember a man defined not only by fame, but by his warmth, loyalty, and devotion. His final days were a reflection of the life he had lived, rich with artistry, love, and connection. Lisa remained his anchor to the very end, the partner who had been his confidant, collaborator, and unwavering source of support. Patrick Swayze's legacy extends far beyond his films or accolades. He left behind a body of work that continues to inspire, yet it is the private story, the decades of love with Lisa, the courage in the face of illness, and the grace with which he carried himself, that defines the heart of his memory. He showed that even amid the challenges of fame and illness, life could be met with dignity, creativity, and profound humanity. The quiet strength of his final years, the devotion of his marriage, and the authenticity he brought to every role stand as a testament to a life lived fully, fiercely, and tenderly. Patrick Swayze's journey reminds us that the true measure of a life is found not only in public success, but in the love we give and receive, the courage we summon in adversity, and the humanity we leave behind. In every film, every dance, every private moment shared with Lisa Niemi, his story endures, an enduring reflection of artistry, devotion, and the human spirit at its most resilient. Even after his passing, Patrick Swayze's influence rippled through the worlds of film, dance, and popular culture. His performances left a mark that went far beyond box office numbers and awards, resonating in the hearts of audiences who found in him a rare combination of physicality and emotional honesty. Patrick was celebrated not just as a star, but as a storyteller who carried a part of his own humanity into every role. A man whose vulnerability was as evident on screen as his strength. The authenticity he brought to his work became a benchmark for performers who sought to balance technical skill with emotional truth. Patrick's life and career were also a testament to mentorship and collaboration. He remained generous to colleagues, offering guidance and encouragement to younger actors and dancers entering an industry often defined by competition. His approach to mentorship was quiet yet profound, rooted in respect, patience, and the belief that talent flourished in an environment of support rather than rivalry. Through these efforts, he cultivated not only performances of excellence but a legacy of professionalism and human kindness that extended far beyond his own accomplishments. One of the enduring reflections of Patrick Swayze's life was the deep partnership he shared with Lisa Niemi. Their marriage, spanning decades, was a model of devotion and mutual respect. Lisa's influence on his career and personal life was profound, and Patrick consistently acknowledged her as the love of his life. In interviews and private conversations, he described how she had anchored him through fame, illness, and the complexities of life in the public eye. Their collaboration went beyond the personal. They worked together creatively, shared passions for dance, travel, and charitable endeavors, and built a life defined by love, loyalty, and mutual encouragement. Patrick's legacy is also cemented in the recognition he achieved over the course of his career. While he is perhaps best known for his iconic performances in Dirty Dancing and Ghost, his body of work spans decades and genres, illustrating his versatility and commitment to his craft. He earned accolades and admiration for his ability to inhabit characters fully, blending physical skill with emotional depth. Beyond awards, his contributions to film and dance inspired generations of performers and captivated audiences worldwide. Even those who never saw him on stage or screen felt the cultural impact of his presence, a rare blend of charisma, talent, and authenticity that left an indelible mark. In his final days, Patrick took time to reflect on the people who had shaped his journey. He expressed gratitude toward colleagues, staff, and fellow performers who had supported his career. And he consistently acknowledged Lisa Niemi, his closest confidant and partner. Their bond remained at the center of his life, the foundation upon which he built both his professional and personal identity. It was this intimate, humanly profound love that many who knew him or admired him from afar recognized as the truest reflection of his character. Patrick Swayze's story is not solely one of fame or talent, but of enduring humanity. His cultural legacy continues to be celebrated, but it is the quiet, tender truths, the mentorship, the love, the integrity, that leave the most lasting impression. Even after his death on September 14, 2009, Patrick's influence lives on in the performers he inspired, the audiences he touched, and the profound love he shared with Lisa Niemi. His life reminds us that greatness is not only measured by achievement, but by the depth of connection, the courage to face adversity, and the authenticity with which one lives and loves. Patrick Swayze's impact endures, not only in the memory of his iconic roles, but in the legacy of a life lived with passion, devotion, and humanity. A life in which love, art, and integrity were inseparable. Patrick Swayze's life was a dance between talent, love, and resilience. From the disciplined studios of his childhood to the glittering lights of Hollywood, he carried with him a dedication to artistry and a capacity for deep, unwavering love. His partnership with Lisa Niemi was the center of that life, a bond forged in shared passion, quiet devotion, and the everyday intimacy that defined his truest happiness. Even as fame soared and illness tested him, Patrick remained grounded in the values instilled by his family, the lessons of discipline, compassion, and integrity. His performances continue to inspire, not just for their technical brilliance, but for the humanity he brought to every role. Yet beyond the screen, it was his life with Lisa, the laughter, the quiet moments, the steadfast devotion, that revealed the heart of the man audiences came to love. Patrick Swayze's legacy is not measured solely in films or accolades, but in the enduring truth of a life lived fully, a love held fiercely, and a spirit that touched the world with grace. For more emotional stories, check out this video.